Throughout its 75-year history, there have been a plethora of phenomenal races in the NASCAR Cup Series. The 1969 Talladega 500, the 2000 Daytona 500, the 2022 AutoTrader Echo Park Automotive 500. These are just a few of these fantastic spectacles. But just 2 years ago, there was a race that was so spectacular that it may top those previously mentioned. It was a race that was filled with tension and drama, a race filled with unexpected turns, the jubilation of victory and the agony of defeat. It was a race that might just be the greatest race in NASCAR history. Tradition, prestige, sportsmanship, competition. These are the values that NASCAR pretends to care about, and the values held by the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Brickyard is a name synonymous with racing. Only a few years after the invention of the automobile, the very first race was run on the 2.5-mile oval. Over the decades, the race turned into the biggest race in the world. Its only flaw is that it's in the rickety town of Indianapolis. A race this prestigious deserves to be in a city that is a beacon, no, a paragon of everything a city can be in America. A city like Gary, Indiana. Track president Tony George knew this, so when he invited a few teams from the NASCAR Winston Cup Series to run a tire test in 1992, it was a big deal. Over 50,000 people showed up to watch the test, a crowd larger than most tracks can bring in today. The test went off without a hitch, and the next course of action was clear. Take away the apron from the racing service, the main thing causing passes during the test, and invite the Cup Series back for a real race this time. The inaugural Brickyard 400 drew 86 cars to attempt the race, literally double a full field of cars for a race. I would have had all 86 out there just for the hell of it. The race drew a massive crowd of over 250,000 spectators. Boy wonder Jeff Gordon would win the race, and we are still to this day not sure if he was just two children in a trench coat. In the years to come, the men would begin to win. Earnhardt, Jarrett, Rudd, Labonte, Elliott, Stewart, Johnson. The Brickyard 400 was one of the biggest races on the schedule. However, the 15th running of the race would run into a snag. Goodyear, a company whose entire purpose in the sport is to provide racing tires, did what they did best: bring inadequate racing tires. The track wasn't taking rubber, and with its weird surface, meant that there were tire blowouts galore. NASCAR had to throw competition cautions about every 10 minutes to avoid even more blowouts. As Jimmy Johnson took the checkered flag after surviving the treacherous race, the awe-struck Indianapolis crowd came to a collective realization. They have just witnessed the greatest Brickyard 400 that will ever be run. The magnificent display of stock car racing on the oval had peaked, and there was no point in ever seeing it again. Nothing will ever top it. Over the course of the next decade, the race would decline. Attendance dropped off a cliff, all the way to the point where no one even bothered to show up in 2020. The quality of racing had declined drastically, despite glorious flare-ups from time to time. A similar thing happened to Formula One at the track, as they put on their greatest ever race in 2005, and the race was canned just a few years later. NASCAR and new track owner Roger Penske knew something had to be done, and they had a devilish idea. Since Formula One isn't using the infield road course anymore, why not use it themselves? It worked to perfection for Charlotte with the Roval. Let's do it here! They tested the track in the Xfinity Series in 2020, and it was a massive success. The last 8 laps were some of the best road course racing the series had ever seen. Those last 8 laps were truly incredible. I cannot stress enough how great those last 8 laps are in particular. It was decided. The Cup Series is racing on the Indianapolis road course. The track begins with the long front stretch into a sharp 90-degree turn 1. After the extremely tight turn, it goes immediately into a long sweeping turn 2, then right into a pair of right-handers, before going into a weird little faux chicane kink onto the backstretch. This entire opening section has practically no runoff area. At the end of the backstretch is another sharp 90-degree turn that starts a series of slow switchback turns that eventually lead to the southern short chute, before another sharp 90-degree turn. 2 more turns lead back to the front stretch to start the lap again. The weekend was a historic one. It was a doubleheader with the NTT Data IndyCar Series. IndyCar and the Xfinity Series ran on Saturday, but no one cares about that garbage. Sunday is the real race in town. The Cup Series. The race was at an interesting point in the 2021 season. It was the 24th race of the season, marking the third to last race before the playoffs, making this race pivotal in the hunt for championship glory. Entering in as the favorite was the defending series champion Chase Elliott. Elliott has already won 7 road course races in his young career, putting him third all-time in the series. He's won 2 of the 5 road course races this season, but his superiority not only on road courses, but on his own team is being challenged. Kyle Larson comes into the race as one of the biggest championship contenders. He's won 5 races this season, with 3 straight wins in June. He's won 2 road course races as well this season, including the most recent one the week before at Watkins Glen, beating Elliott. Despite Larson's success this season, he is in an intense battle for the regular season championship with Denny Hamlin. Hamlin has been incredibly consistent this season, having 8 top 5 finishes in the first 9 races. Despite going toe-to-toe with Larson, he has somehow yet to win a race. While road courses are far from his biggest strength as a driver, he is looking for redemption at Indianapolis, after a chance of winning went up in smoke with a few laps remaining the year before. With the track being a road course now, it offers a massive opportunity for several drivers. One of those drivers is Chase Briscoe. Briscoe is the leading rookie in the Cup Series, but that's like saying Jake Paul is the most sane of the Paul brothers. Briscoe has had a terrible rookie campaign, with only 3 top 10 finishes all year. However, those top 10s were both on road courses. He also won the Xfinity Series race at this track last year, and he's an Indiana boy. This is his home track. He has a great shot to win in front of his hometown crowd. His stakes are clear. If he has any shot of making the playoffs, this race is his shot. Another driver who sees this race as an opportunity is AJ Allmendinger. Allmendinger was a former kart driver. He used to run in mid-pack Cup teams in the 2010s and got a win at Watkins Glen in 2014. He is in the midst of a career resurgence with the young Xfinity Series team Colleague Racing. The team is beginning to expand by running a part-time Cup Series schedule this season. Allmendinger has been running road course races this season to build the team's road course program before going full-time in 2022. After weeks of intrigue, the race is finally ready to be run. Pole sitter William Byron leads the field to the green flag to begin the historic race. The field stacks up in turn 1, but quickly gets it settled. On the second lap, Chase Briscoe makes the pass for the lead, leading a line of 3 Hendrick Motorsports cars in the early stages. Elliott and Larson lurk behind in 3rd and 4th. Outside of some contact here and there, all is calm in the field. On lap 13, pit stops begin before the stage end, with all of the major players up front pitting to gain an advantage for the win. Tyler Reddick and Michael McDowell battle for the stage win, with the former getting it. However, he sacrifices track position to do so. The first caution of the day flies as the stage comes to a close on lap 15. So far, not much is happening in the race, but there is still plenty of racing to go. During the caution period, track workers spent a few moments banging a sledgehammer onto the turn 6 curbing. I'm sure it's standard procedure, nothing to worry about there. While under yellow, Briscoe lost several positions by having to reset his ECU, and Elliott overtook him. He takes advantage of Brad Keselowski on old tires on the ensuing restart, and he takes the lead for himself. The racing in the pack is starting to ramp up as several drivers go off track, spin, and race each other hard. Up at the front, Larson settles into the second position, stalking his teammate and rival. Slowly but surely, he begins to close the gap between them. On lap 33, cars begin to pit once more. Larson tries to trap Elliott behind the wounded car of Keselowski to gain an advantage on pit road, but Elliott keeps his position. That is until Larson uses the slower car of James Davison as a pick and passes Elliott for the de facto lead at the end of the stage. Reddick wins stage 2. Caution for the second time today. The track crew once again works on the turn 6 curbing, now using power tools on it. Interesting. I'm sure it's nothing important. It's time for the pay window to open. Quickly approaching halfway into the race, it's time to begin the final stage, with Larson breaking away with the lead. The restart is the most aggressive it has been all day now, as the field stacks up in the back of the pack, resulting in a crash off of turn 6. The caution comes out, but not for the crash, but for debris in the curbing. The same curbing they have worked on every caution period. Eric Almirola's splitter and radiator box got wedged underneath the curbing while battling for position. It's been an eventful day for that curb. Hopefully that's the last of it today. The race restarts on lap 44, with a much calmer restart, relatively speaking. The field sorts itself out, but they are racing hard and aggressively to gain or keep track position, notably Denny Hamlin, beginning to show fast pace for the first time today. Larson continues to check out from the field. He looks like the car to beat. Chase Briscoe flat spots one of his tires and begins to lose spots. He goes down pit road on lap 52. His chances of winning are slipping away. A few laps later, the field begins to make what they hope are the final pit stops of the race. Larson and Elliott are among those who pitted. However, Hamlin is absent. He is running an alternative strategy, running long to hopefully have some things fall their way. But Hamlin going off track in turn 12 complicates matters. He finally pits with 20 laps to go. Larson cycles back to the lead the following lap, with a hefty lead over Elliott, shades of the previous week, as Larson had a large lead over Elliott there at the end. He will likely lead the race as the regular season points leader, overtaking Hamlin, who has led the points since February. Meanwhile, Briscoe flat spots his tire again. He's the last car on the lead lap. His chance at winning is all but over. Hamlin takes advantage of his much fresher tires to put down the fastest lap times on the track, but he is too far back to compete for the win. The laps are slowly winding down, and it seems all but assured that Larson will win, until debris in turns 5 and 6 bring out the caution with 10 laps to go. This calm and uneventful race has suddenly turned into a shootout for the win. The track crew are once again working on the curbing. Okay, can this stupid curb be fine now? It's annoying me. Whatever, pit road is open and Larson and Elliott lead the field down pit road, minus Hamlin, who stays out to take the lead. Briscoe also stays out, getting him back into the top 5 in 4th place. All of a sudden, his slim chances of winning have just gone way up. Larson wins the race off of pit road, ready to strike with fresh tires for what is sure to be a tumultuous restart. Absent from the front is Chase Elliott, whose car slipped off the jack on the pit stop, losing a multitude of positions. Tough luck. The stage is set. It's time to battle for the win. It will be 6 laps to go when they take the green. Whoa, boy! This restart is sure to be a wild one.
Right away, DiBenedetto trying to block. Larson on the inside makes it 3 wide. He'll make it 3 wide, trying for second here as they go to 1.
And they're 3 wide for the lead. Briscoe comes flying into the inside of Hamlin. Kurt Busch has to give way. Hamlin is away with the lead. Briscoe down to the number 2 position, and they're stacked up there. William Byron's on the move. He'll jump to the outside as well. So right now you've got Hamlin in the 11, Briscoe in the 14, and William Byron gets by Kyle Larson in the 24. He'll take 3rd, and they're bumping and banging and grinding, and 1 car's around. Coming out of turn number 6, he'll spin it to the inside. That is Martin Truex Jr., who gets spun to the exit of turn 6.
Guys? Did no one notice a ton of debris just spewed out of turn 6? Y'all have called a caution for less all day. Whatever, it's not important. Martin Truex Jr. is back up and running, and Briscoe is hot on Hamlin's tails with his slightly fresher tires. This is going to be a battle for the ages. Just be careful next time by turn 6, okay? What am I worrying about? Nothing bad is gonna happen. What could possibly go wrong?
Through 4, now into 5 and turn 6. All of that contact between the 2 leaders is allowed. That's out of the 20. They're spinning. Oh, there's multiple cars into the wall here. There must be oil or some kind of fluid down on the racetrack. More cars coming in.
William Byron is reporting that the curb came up. He hit the curb in the 24. Yeah, the curbing is coming up, and that's what everyone hit when they were coming through there in turn 6. The curbing comes up, catches a bunch of the cars, the front ends of the cars, and numerous cars are destroyed. Take a look at what happened to Daniel Suarez's car.
Wow! Just wow! I haven't seen a more beautiful display of destruction since the 2020 Busch Light Clash. The turn 6 curb, the same curb that has been worked on every single caution, came up and destroyed numerous cars. A spectacular and unmitigated disaster. This is cinema. Absolute cinema! Martin Scorsese wishes he could create a cinematic masterpiece like this in his dreams. This moment is a where were you when this happened moment. This is on the same level of sheer comedic genius as the Juan Pablo Montoya jet dryer incident. I am not joking. As long as I live, I will never forget the Indianapolis road course curb incident. What a mess. What a beautiful, magnificent mess. Track work is well underway to get rid of the curb, eventually dragging it away in shame. NBC makes note that the following sporting program after the race, the U.S. Amateur Golf Championship, is airing on the Golf Channel. They will be broadcasting the race over its TV window until it concludes. Briscoe in second and Larson in third have minor damage, and are unsure at how good they will be for the ensuing restart. Briscoe's brakes have been a major problem for him in the second half of the race, and if he's going to pass Hamlin, he has to outbrake him. After almost 25 minutes under the red flag, the caution is back out. It will be a 2-lap overtime shootout to end it. Green flag is back out. It's time to go. Guys, are you going to go?
On the field, we see some speedy drive being put down. I believe that's some fluid from the 15.
Rick, that is not some, that is a lot. This started in 1, it's going through 2, they are headed into 3, they're working their way over to 4. Now you got to lay all this speedy dry down, then you got to clean it up. You're going to have to race through all this before you get to see if things work out in turn 6 the way you think they are.
Really? They let a car with oil pouring out of it just ride around and dump all that oil through turns 1 through 4? Come on, guys. Why are you just riding around under caution? You should have just kept the red flag out and towed the 15 off track. This is just extending the race longer than it needs to be. Hamlin's lap lead total is being inflated because of nonsensical track cleanup from an avoidable situation. It's always those stupid Rick Ware cars causing this crap. Okay, after nearly an hour since the curb crash, holy crap, guys, really? It took y'all an hour to get the track ready? Why didn't they just keep the red flag up until the track was ready to be raced? Why have you just been pacing around under caution for half an hour? Ugh, freaking morons. Alright, we are finally ready to go back racing. 2-lap overtime shootout. Hamlin first, Larson second, Briscoe third. These are the drivers who will battle for the win. Here we go.
Denny Hamlin goes on defense. Kyle Larson comes flying around the outside. Kurt Busch is there as well. Now it'll be Larson that'll slip. Hamlin will go through. Briscoe to Benedetto. Kyle Larson having a hard time negotiating 1 and 2. They are jammed up back mid-pack, but it's Denny Hamlin that'll break free of the muck and the mire in turns 2 and 3, and he will pick up the lead. Briscoe with him in second. Here comes back to Benedetto. He goes third. He's got to get around AJ Allmendinger to do it. Bubba Wallace off course. One of the cars spinning, leading turn 6. More contact on the straightaway, and there's more calamity on the back straightaway.
Oh, come on! Again? Y'all crashed again? Since when did this race turn into a Talladega-style demo derby? All you had to do was negotiate 2 laps. 2 freaking laps! And we waited an hour just for y'all to rack in about 37 seconds. Unreal. And now we're under the red flag again. Just get us to the end of this thing already.
As we are under a yellow flag condition and overtime looms in front of us, we're letting you know that we are going to switch over to NBCSN for the conclusion of this race, the final 2 laps.
They whistle over their TV window. They got booted for golf. Not even professional golf, amateur golf. What an absolute cluster.
The word I'm searching for, I can't say because there's preschool toys present.
Okay, it's been nearly an hour and a half since the curb crash. The stage is set. Again, Hamlin first, Briscoe second. They will duel for the win. AJ Allmendinger has somehow made it into third. He will watch on. Just get it to the white flag, boys. Please?
Here he comes into turn 1. Chase Briscoe's going to give him a run for the money. Here's Briscoe to the outside, but he's going to be offline. No, Briscoe's in the grass. Now it's a battle for the lead with Hamlin and Allmendinger. Briscoe will come back onto the grass, and now he will be side by side with Denny Hamlin. Briscoe getting forced off course with a piece of debris that went flying off the race car when it happened, but they're back on course. Battle for the lead. Well, now it's turn 5 and 6, and Brian Newman gets the curbing in turn 6.
Down the back straightaway, there's smoke out of the 11 car. It's all clear now, though. He leads them into 7. Briscoe right on his tail. We'll have to see how NASCAR.
Stop and go. 14 has
Stop and go for the 14 car. He is not racing for the win. Oh, he's got a spin. Denny has spun out.
What the hell was that? After all that nonsense. Briscoe gets booted off course, gets a course-cutting penalty, and then knocks the race leader out of the race. Briscoe, buddy, can I ask you a question? Do you have a brain in that noggin of yours? The course-cutting penalty was ticky-tacky, but you did cut an entire turn and continued to battle for the lead. Did you really think you could get away with that? And then, why did you boot Hamlin? He didn't even run you off. Allmendinger was the instigator of that. You just got handed the perfect opportunity to make the playoffs, and guess what? You blew it! And you just ruined Hamlin's race for no reason. Spent an hour and a half stat padding his laps led just to get dumped out of the lead. This poor guy can't catch a break. So, if Hamlin spun out and Briscoe is penalized, does that mean?
A.J. Allmendinger.
A.J. freaking Allmendinger. Bro was nowhere near the front all day, somehow survived the carnage, and gave Colleague Racing their first Cup Series win, and his second career win. Stunning doesn't even begin to describe it. What an unbelievable victory. Undoubtedly, one of the best wins over the past decade. Oh, we got beef!
Conversation.
Because I was in the grass anyway. I wasn't trying to screw you up. You shouldn't have laughed for like race. I know, I was just trying to get it going because I knew the 16 was right behind me.
Yeah, that face says it all. In the aftermath of this race, many storylines would be concluded. Hamlin's would be what would do him in for the regular season championship. He lost almost 30 points on Larson, who would go on to finish third. A strong finish for a strong race. He would take the points lead and would go on to win the Cup Series championship. Hamlin would eventually win 2 races this season, but this race proved to be the turning point that ended his championship hopes. Elliott finished 4th, a strong recovery after his pit road mishap, but not the ideal result for a race-winning capable car. He has not won on a road course since this race at the time of this upload. Briscoe would not go on to make the playoffs, and in fact did not finish in the top 10 for the rest of the year. He would, however, win his first race at Phoenix the following spring. Allmendinger would return to run full-time in the Cup Series once again in 2023 with Colleague Racing. This race was incredible. If Briscoe and Hamlin got into a fight afterwards, then this race would have been an artistic masterpiece that would make Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel look like macaroni art at a summer camp. Very few races in the history of NASCAR have ever come close to the majesty and greatness this one has. This race had it all. High-stakes drama, calamity, disaster, hilarity, underdogs, baffling decisions, plot twists galore, frustration, and jubilation. An emotional roller coaster in every sense of the word. Stock car racing in its truest and most eloquent form. And that is why the 2021 Verizon 200 at the Brickyard is truly deserving of the title of the greatest race in NASCAR history. Now, if only this race had a sequel.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, missing the oval already. I think we turned this place into a demo derby. I hope the fans enjoyed it. But, I mean, it's the driver's faults, too. There's a curb over there, and at some point you got to lift to make it. I did my job to not jump it most of the day, and then somebody in front of me jumps it, and I get caught in the mess. So it's disappointing. It sucks that our day gets ended that way. I was getting told, man, I was too wide through there, and it's like, so you still got to make the corner. I mean, no matter what, you know that curb's coming. But I thought it was a mess pretty much the whole day, and hope everybody just liked the carnage and hopefully a good finish.